What do you mean we're losing clients over late print jobs when we have 10 locations running around the clock? Wesley Ellard leaned back in his office chair, eyes locked on the quarterly report that just landed on his desk. He had inherited the printing company 5 years ago after his father passed away. Built from the ground up, the business had 10 locations across the state, printing everything from flyers to legal documents to glossy catalogs. And now, customer complaints were creeping upward, and turnover rates had doubled in the last year. He'd made every effort to stay involved: weekly meetings, district calls, site reports, but something didn't sit right. Numbers looked clean, but the stories behind them didn't. One location in particular, Store 7 out in Fairview, kept showing inconsistencies. Delays, missing orders, staff quitting mid-shift. Yet the local manager's reports always sounded like everything was under control. Wesley rubbed his temples. I need to see it for myself. He decided to go undercover. He'd never been to that location, and most of the staff were new hires. Store 7 was one of the company's newer additions, acquired just 2 years ago. No one there had met him in person. Perfect. He shaved his beard, dyed his hair a dull brown, and wore thick-rimmed glasses. His name for now, Will? He created a fake resume listing previous warehouse and printer experience. A temp agency they occasionally partnered with helped him get in as a trainee. When he walked in on Monday morning, the air smelled like ink and dust. The front lobby looked clean enough, but a stack of outdated order forms sat untouched by the entrance. A wiry guy in his 40s with a receding hairline and constant frown greeted him. You the new trainee? The man muttered, barely glancing up from his tablet. Follow me. I'm Mitch. I run this place. Wesley nodded. Nice to meet you. Mitch didn't respond. He led him through the back, past humming presses and workers in navy blue uniforms. A few looked up, exhausted eyes and stained sleeves, but no one said much. The workflow was chaos. Orders were piling up on carts, half-labeled. One worker was manually resetting a jammed press with what looked like a wrench from someone's toolbox. All right, Mitch grunted, pointing to a young woman standing awkwardly near a stack of folded paper. That's Frida. Just started last week. You'll be shadowing her. Frida was maybe 21. Nervous energy, hair tucked into a too-big company cap. She gave Wesley a small smile. Hey, I'll show you around, but just a warning, Mitch gets mad easy. Just nod if he talks. Got it, Wesley said quietly. Thanks. For the next couple hours, Frida showed him the ropes. She was slow but careful, checking the ink levels twice before hitting print. When a customer's order got accidentally printed with the wrong dimensions, she caught it and fixed it before it left the shop. Mitch stormed over. What the hell are you doing? He snapped. You wasted 20 sheets of premium gloss paper because you didn't triple-check the tray settings? Frida stepped back. It was only 10 sheets. And I caught the, don't talk when I'm talking, Mitch barked. You're lucky I don't dock your pay. You think we're here to babysit? Wesley's jaw clenched. He looked at Frida, eyes on the floor, shoulders tight like she'd heard this before. Mitch turned to him. And you will, right? Don't follow her lead. She's been here a week and already costs me more than she's worth. Wesley stayed quiet, heart pounding. He glanced around. No one else even looked up. It was like this was normal. Later that day, after Mitch left for a manager's meeting, Frida quietly apologized. He does that to everyone, she said. Almost made me cry on my second day. I need this job, though. My mom's sick. Wesley nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. You're doing great. Don't let him make you think otherwise. He stayed quiet the rest of the shift, watching how the place ran. Mitch barely lifted a finger, barking orders from the back office. The assistant manager, Clarissa, looked overwhelmed. She tried to help the staff when she could, but seemed scared of Mitch too. By the end of the day, Wesley had seen enough to know this store wasn't just struggling, it was being choked from the top. But he needed more. One bad day didn't tell the full story. So he decided to come back the next day. And the next. Each day, more cracks showed. Orders missing because no one double-checked the system. Workers skipping lunch to finish rush jobs. One guy, Daryl, had been here 6 years and still hadn't gotten a raise. Frida, despite everything, kept trying. Stayed late. Helped others learn the machines. On Thursday, things hit a breaking point. Mitch caught Frida helping a customer reprint a funeral program that had been messed up the day before. The customer looked grateful, even emotional. But Mitch saw the reprint and lost it. "You're not authorized to approve reprints," he shouted in front of everyone. "You think you're running the place now? You're just a screw-up with a nice smile." The customer, an older woman holding the folded program, looked stunned. "Young lady, you were very kind. Don't let him talk to you like that," she said gently. Frida's eyes welled up. "That was it?" Wesley stepped forward. His voice was calm but firm. "Hey, Mitch. You ever talk to her like that again, we're going to have a different conversation." Mitch turned, face twisted. "Excuse me? Who do you think you are?" Wesley met his eyes. "I think it's time you found out." Mitch's face twisted. "You think you can walk in here and tell me how to run my store?" Wesley didn't raise his voice. "I'm not just telling you. I'm telling everyone. I'm the owner of this company. And I've been working here for the last 4 days." The room froze. Frida's eyes widened. Daryl stopped mid-stack. Even Clarissa, who had just stepped out from the back, stood speechless. Mitch blinked, then gave a half-laugh, uncertain. "You're kidding." Wesley pulled the fake badge from his shirt and dropped it on the counter. "My name's Wesley Ellard. I inherited this company from my father 5 years ago. I've been watching this location for months. And after what I just saw, your employment is over. Effective immediately." Mitch opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Wesley turned to Clarissa. "Please take him to the break room. I'll have corporate call security to escort him off the premises." Clarissa didn't hesitate. She motioned for Mitch to follow. He didn't move. "I've been here longer than any of these kids," Mitch muttered. "You think I don't know how to run a print shop?" "You know how to intimidate and humiliate people," Wesley said. "But that's not leadership. And it's not what my father built this company for." Mitch gave a short, bitter laugh and walked without another word. After the door shut behind them, Wesley turned to the others. "I know this is unexpected. I didn't come here just to fire someone. I came because something's been wrong and nobody at headquarters could give me straight answers. I wanted to see it for myself." He looked around the room. No one spoke yet. Frida was still standing near the counter, fists clenched. "You okay?" Wesley asked her. She nodded, though her face was pale. "I didn't think anyone would ever call him out." "You shouldn't have had to wait for someone," Wesley said. He stepped onto the production floor. "I'm not here as a boss today. I'm here as someone who needs to understand how we got to this point. If any of you have something to say about operations, treatment, equipment, anything, I'll listen. And you won't face consequences for being honest." Daryl was the first to speak. "We're short by at least 3 people. Every week. The temps quit after 2 shifts and Mitch never replaced them." Clarissa stepped back into the room. "He told me to stop requesting more help. Said payroll was already maxed out and corporate wouldn't approve more hours." "I never saw those requests," Wesley said. "He didn't submit them," she replied. "He just told me not to bother." Wesley nodded once. "Keep going." A younger guy near the back, probably in his mid-20s, raised his hand. "My name's Joel. I've been here about 6 months. The printers are overdue for maintenance. That's why they jam so much. We've been tracking error codes, but no one ever comes out to fix them. I'll have our maintenance vendor out tomorrow," Wesley said. "What else?" Frida spoke quietly. "Some of the paper shipments get logged wrong. I think someone's been skimming off the top." Wesley turned to Clarissa. "Have you noticed this?" "I've tried to track inventory," she said. "But Mitch kept the login credentials for himself. I wasn't even allowed to check the delivery logs." Wesley took a breath. "That stops today. I'll be here the rest of the week to help reset things. And I'll stay as long as I need to." He spent the next 3 hours walking every part of the floor. He asked questions, took photos of outdated equipment, and watched how orders were processed. He noticed how little space was left in the backroom. Boxes were stacked dangerously high, and some shelves bowed under the weight. By 3 in the afternoon, he called a temporary halt to incoming orders and posted a sign on the door, "Closed for staff restructure, reopening tomorrow at noon." Then he called corporate. "I need a dedicated HR lead here by morning," he said. "Send a team from facilities to do a full safety inspection, and get me payroll access for this store." That night, he booked a hotel across the street and reviewed every incident report tied to the Fairview location. Half of them had never been escalated past Mitch. Several were serious, including a back injury that went unreported to compliance. The next morning, a silver sedan pulled up just after 8. A woman in a tailored blazer stepped out, HR lead Maria Delgado. She shook Wesley's hand firmly. "I reviewed the files last night," she said. "This location is a compliance minefield." "I figured," Wesley said. "Let's get to work." They spent the morning interviewing staff individually. Frida explained how she'd been told not to waste paper on sentimental jobs. Joel shared that Mitch once told him he'd never move up because you don't have the right kind of personality for leadership. Daryl, normally quiet, revealed that he'd once submitted an idea to improve paper flow and was told, "You're not paid to think." Maria took detailed notes. By noon, she had already flagged 3 violations that would have justified Mitch's termination months ago. After the interviews, Wesley called everyone together. "I owe all of you an apology," he said. "Not just for what happened this week, but for letting this store go unchecked for so long. That's on me." Silence. "But we're going to fix it. Starting today. No more single-person decision-making. Clarissa will be acting manager until we find a permanent replacement. Maintenance is coming this afternoon. HR will stay on-site the rest of the week. Every employee will receive a one-on-one review, and effective immediately, everyone here gets a raise. It's long overdue." A few eyes widened. Frida looked stunned. Joel ran a hand through his hair like he wasn't sure he'd heard right. "You're serious?" Daryl asked. "I wouldn't say it if I wasn't," Wesley replied. "And next week we'll have a regional meeting with all store managers. No more middle managers hiding problems. We're rebuilding from the floor up." He paused. "One more thing. I want to recognize someone." He turned to Frida. "You should have never been put in the position you were in yesterday. But the way you handled it with patience, care, and professionalism, that's what this company needs more of. As of today, I'm promoting you to lead print technician. You'll train directly with our operations team over the next month." Frida's mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. "You've earned it," Wesley said. "And we'll cover your mother's medical expenses for the next 6 months. You shouldn't have to carry that alone." Tears welled in her eyes, but she nodded, holding them back. The room was quiet for a few seconds. Then Daryl clapped once. Joel followed. Soon, the entire team was applauding. Wesley let it settle. Then he smiled, not out of pride, but out of something deeper. Relief. Clarity. He hadn't just seen what was wrong. He was finally doing something about it. And he wasn't going to stop here. The next 2 days were a whirlwind of motion and recalibration. The store didn't snap into shape overnight. Wesley knew better than to expect that, but the shift in tone was undeniable. With Mitch gone, the tension in the air had thinned. People moved with more certainty, less guardedness in their posture. Still, the operational damage ran deeper than anyone had guessed. Wesley arrived early Friday morning, coffee in hand, and found Clarissa already at the back workstation, cross-referencing order logs against delivery confirmations. A clipboard lay beside her with a list of flagged discrepancies. "Morning," he said, setting the coffee down beside her. Clarissa looked up, hair pulled back in a tight bun, eyes sharp but tired. "I stayed late last night." There were over 50 discrepancies between what the system showed and what we actually received this month. "That's not counting partial shipments." 50 within 30 days? He asked, scanning the page. 52, she corrected. "And that's just paper stock. Ink shipments look cleaner, but I haven't finished checking." Wesley leaned on the edge of the counter. "Did Mitch ever change vendors or modify the standing orders?" "I don't know," Clarissa replied. "He handled all the vendor communications himself. Locked his emails with a private password. I never had access." Wesley exhaled slowly. "I'll have IT pull his records. If there's manipulation happening at the supply level, we need to know exactly how far it goes." He turned as Frida entered the room, pulling on her gloves. She looked different, not in uniform but in presence. More grounded. She approached the desk quietly and set down a small folder. "These are the reprints from yesterday," she said. "I also made a note of the customers who weren't satisfied with how long things took. I don't think anyone was angry, just disappointed." Clarissa took the folder. "We'll reach out to them today." "Thank you." Wesley gave a nod. "How's the new role feeling?" Frida hesitated. "It's a lot. I don't want to mess it up." "You're not expected to have all the answers," Wesley said. "You're expected to care. The rest we'll train for." She gave a small, appreciative nod and headed toward the machines, already humming into warm-up mode. By mid-morning, the maintenance team had arrived, 3 technicians in navy polos wheeling in equipment cases. Joel was the one who flagged them down, walking them through each problematic press. Wesley let him take the lead. It was the first time he'd seen Joel speak with that kind of confidence. While the machines were being serviced, Wesley took time to walk the floor again, this time with a different purpose. He wasn't watching for damage control anymore. He was looking for potential. In the back corner, he found Daryl helping one of the newer hires, a quiet guy named Sam, recalibrate a label printer. Sam was struggling with the touchscreen interface, but Daryl didn't rush him. He waited, explained, waited again. "That's it," Daryl said, watching the machine spool into motion. "You'll get the hang of it. Just don't skip the second screen, it resets the width parameters." Wesley waited until the print finished before stepping forward. "How long have you been training new hires?" he asked. Daryl turned, a little caught off guard. "I don't really train them. I just help when I can." "You've been doing it since I got here," Wesley said. "People listen to you. They trust you." Daryl scratched the back of his neck. "I don't really see myself as a leader." "You don't have to," Wesley replied. "But others already do. That's why I'd like you to consider a new position. Floor operations lead. You'd mentor incoming hires, coordinate with Clarissa on workloads, and have a direct line to our regional team for feedback." Daryl's eyebrows drew in. "You sure? I'm not a paperwork kind of guy." "I'm not asking you to sit in an office," Wesley said. "I'm asking you to keep doing what you're already doing, just with better pay and real authority to make decisions when things go sideways." Daryl didn't answer right away. He looked over at Sam, who was now reloading the printer with more confidence than 10 minutes ago. "I'll give it a shot," he said. "But I'm not wearing a tie." "Deal," Wesley said, offering a handshake. By noon, the first press was back online, running clean and error-free. The maintenance team confirmed that 2 of the machines had been operating well past their recommended service intervals. One had a worn belt that could have caused a fire if left unchecked. While the team wrapped up, Maria from HR returned with a small folder in hand. She found Wesley near the front desk, reviewing the day's orders. "Got something you'll want to see," she said, laying the folder down. "Expense reports submitted by Mitch over the past 6 months. Take a look." Wesley flipped it open. The numbers were immediately suspicious. Regular purchases from a vendor that wasn't on the approved list. Bulk orders of premium stock that never showed up on the inventory logs. A monthly equipment repair fee charged to a third-party account that didn't match any service records. "This looks like theft," Wesley said. "It is," Maria confirmed. "We cross-referenced the vendor address. It leads to a PO box registered under a holding company Mitch created last year." Wesley stared at the sheet for a long moment. "We'll press charges." "I've already contacted legal," Maria replied. "They're building the case." He nodded, jaw tight. "Anything else?" Maria hesitated. "Yes, it's not just the fraud. We found a complaint that was never escalated. Racial discrimination. A temp worker last year said Mitch told him he wasn't the right fit for customer-facing roles because he didn't look the part." Wesley's stomach turned. "What happened to him?" "He quit 3 days later," Maria said quietly. "No one followed up." "Find him," Wesley said. "Reach out, apologize, and offer him a position if he's willing. And make sure that complaint is on Mitch's record. I want that documented in full. Understood. As Maria left, Wesley sat down at the front counter. The weight of the week pressed in, but so did something else resolve. There was no salvaging what Mitch had done, but there was rebuilding. And the team that remained had shown more honesty, more strength, than any report could have captured. Clarissa approached. We're almost caught up on backlog. 2 more days and we should be stable again. You've done more than stabilize things, Wesley said. You've held this place together under the worst conditions imaginable. You ever consider running your own store? Clarissa blinked. I wasn't expecting that. You should, he said. We've got a location opening next quarter in Pine Ridge. I'll send you the details. You've earned the chance to lead without being under someone like him. She didn't answer right away, but the way she stood straighter, more certain, spoke louder than any words. By closing time, the store was quieter. Not empty, not silent, just calm. The presses had cooled. The last of the customers had left satisfied, and the team stood a little taller. Wesley locked the front door, turned the sign, and joined the others near the break room. No announcements, he said. Just, thank you. For not giving up. For holding the line when no one was watching. Frida smiled faintly. Joel leaned against the wall, arms crossed, finally comfortable in the space. Clarissa stood beside Daryl, who didn't say much but didn't need to. They didn't ask what came next. They already knew. Wesley arrived early Monday morning and parked in the same corner spot he'd been using all week. The air was cool and the sky still held that soft gray light that came before sunrise. As he stepped out of the car, he could already hear the low mechanical churn of the front press warming up. Someone had beaten him there. Inside, Daryl stood at one of the side tables, sorting through a new shipment of specialty cardstock. His movements were deliberate, checking each color against the supplier sheet. He didn't notice Wesley at first. You always this early? Wesley asked, setting his bag on the counter. Daryl looked up, then returned to his task. Wasn't sure the new delivery would match the order. Figured I'd check before we built the queue around it. Wesley walked around the counter and picked up a sheet. The texture was right. Grain bonded, smooth edge, slightly thicker stock than standard. Corporate switching paper vendors next quarter. Higher quality, tighter specs. You'll like the change. Daryl nodded. Good. They didn't talk more than necessary. Just enough to move things forward. That's what Wesley appreciated about him, no need for filler. By 7:30, Clarissa arrived. She had a tablet under her arm and a headset already clipped to her collar. There was a purpose in the way she moved now, less reaction, more direction. She went straight to the back where the day's layout schedule was posted. Frida's calling out today, she said as she returned. Her mom's starting treatment. She texted me last night. Wesley nodded once. We'll cover her shift. Let her focus on home. Clarissa began sorting the assignments. Sam's still getting up to speed. He can handle envelope runs, but he's not ready for the binders. Joel can take the large format queue if we reroute some of the standard jobs to the second press. Wesley stepped beside her. Let's do that. I'll take customer pickup and quality checks. She tapped her screen. Noted. That'll keep us balanced. By the time the rest of the team arrived, the floor was already in motion. Joel checked in at the back, grabbed his gloves, and nodded toward the wide format unit. Clarissa gave him a quick rundown of the changes, and he got to work without hesitation. Wesley stayed at the front, scanning orders and prepping pickups. A woman in her 50s came in around 9 with a quiet tone and a concern about a banner's color saturation. Wesley didn't recognize her at first until she mentioned her name, Mrs. Halvorsen. She'd been the one Frida had helped during the funeral reprint. I just wanted to say thank you again, she said, holding the rolled banner gently in her arms. That young lady was very kind. I hope she's doing all right. She is, Wesley said. She has the week off to be with family, but she appreciated your words. I'll make sure she hears them. Mrs. Halvorson gave a soft nod and left. Wesley marked the order as complete and set a quiet note in the system: do not charge for future reprints for this customer. At midday, Maria arrived from corporate, this time with a regional compliance officer named Brenna. They reviewed the final audit findings together in the small office behind the break room. Wesley read through each page carefully. The theft had totaled just under $26,000. The false vendor had been linked to a personal bank account. The unreported injury from last year had required medical attention that the company had never been made aware of. We've already submitted the full report to legal, Maria said. They've contacted the authorities. He'll be facing charges. And the injured employee? Wesley asked. Brenna answered. We tracked him down. He's working part-time at a hardware store now. Said he never expected to hear from us again. We'll make it right, Wesley said. Offer full medical reimbursement. And if he wants it, reinstatement with full back pay. Brenna nodded. I'll reach out today. Wesley set the report aside. This can't happen again. Not at any site. It won't, Maria said. We're rolling out new oversight procedures next week. No more single-person control over inventory or vendor selection. Every store will have quarterly audits randomized. Good, Wesley said. And I want every store manager to spend 1 full day a month on the floor. No exceptions. Maria made a note. That'll be added to the new expectations. After they left, Wesley returned to the floor. Joel had just finished a large banner run and was rolling the sheets into shipping tubes. Color balance looks sharp, Wesley said, checking the test print. Joel didn't look up. Used a custom profile. The old ones were oversaturating reds. You build that yourself? Yeah. Started testing profiles at my last job. Never had a reason to try it here before. You do now, Wesley said. Once Frida's back, I want the two of you to work together on a new profile library. We'll share it company-wide. Joel paused, then gave a short nod. All right. Later that afternoon, Clarissa gathered the team for a short meeting near the back table. Everyone circled in: Daryl, Joel, Sam, 2 others from the weekend crew who'd been brought in to help. Wesley stood off to the side, listening. I know the last few weeks haven't been easy, Clarissa said, but I want to thank all of you for staying steady. We've cleared 60% of our backlog. Customer reviews are up. And starting next week, we'll be running a new training program built from scratch by us. Not corporate. The room was quiet but attentive. We'll be rotating roles more often, she continued. You'll get cross-trained, you'll get certified on new equipment, and you'll have real input on how we do things. No more top-down orders with no explanation. We build this together. Joel raised a hand. Can we submit workflow ideas directly? Clarissa nodded. Yes. Starting today, there's a submission form on the break room board. Ideas will be reviewed weekly. If it's good, we use it. You'll get credited and paid for the time it takes to implement. Daryl crossed his arms. And if someone tries to shut it down? They won't, Wesley said, stepping forward. And if they do, they'll answer to me. No one spoke for a few seconds. Then Sam, still new but finding his footing, said quietly, feels different here now. Clarissa gave a small nod. It is. The team broke off soon after, returning to their stations. The hum of the machines resumed. Orders printed. Labels fed through. Boxes stacked in neat rows. Wesley stayed behind for a moment, watching. Not supervising, just observing. There was no need to hover anymore. The work was happening. The culture was shifting. By evening, the last order had been picked up. The lights dimmed. Clarissa walked with him toward the front, locking up as they went. You heading back to headquarters tomorrow? She asked. Yeah, Wesley said. But I'll be back. And not just for inspections. Clarissa looked at the empty lobby, now clean and quiet. Hard to believe this is the same place. It isn't, Wesley said. It's better. She held the door while he stepped out. The sun had dipped low, casting long shadows across the parking lot. You made the right call coming here, she said. I should have made it sooner, he replied. But I'm here now. Clarissa gave a short, genuine nod. They didn't need to say more. Wesley got into his car and started the engine. In the rearview mirror, he could see the sign above the door, Store 7, Fairview. It looked the same as it had a week ago, but everything beneath it had changed.